Okay, this is the Hofburg Palace, and it's the formal imperial palace in the center of Vienna, Austria. This palace was built in the 12th century, and it has been expanded over the centuries since. This palace also has been the seat of power of the Habsburg dynasty rulers, and today it serves as the official residence and workplace of the President of Austria. It was also the principal imperial winter residence, as Schönberg Palace was the summer residence. And here it is, the Hofburg Palace.
We are in the Hofburg Palace, and when I tell you this thing is huge and climbing all these stairs, it is definitely interesting. But I'm getting my steps in with my Fitbit. But look at all of this. All of this. Very interesting. And this is only a small portion of the castle, of the palace. Okay, this is a clavichord. And I think it was played by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. And I think I didn't even, I'm gonna try to play it over. Neat. Look at this. This is a spinet. Oh, I can't play that. It has a glass cover on it. Interesting. Is it spinetto? I have to look it up because I don't see anything English. Now, this is much louder than the clavichord. Spinetto.
Now, the Hofburg Palace includes several, wings. It has the CC Museum, the Imperial Apartments, Imperial Silver Connection, Spanish Writing School, the Art History Museum, Chapel and Imperial, the Treasury, the Albertina, the State Hall, the performance sites, and definitely the collection of ancient musical instruments. And this is a portrait of Napoleon.
This is the violin of Leopold Mozart, Wolfgang's father. This is a glass harmonica. Benjamin Franklin actually made one of these.
In the heart of this imperial palace, the Hofburg Palace, is the unique Museum of Historical Musical Instruments, which the majority of the collection actually came from Archduke Ferdinand II's collection. And it was originally housed in the Ambrose Castle in Tyrol. But due to the Napoleon Wars, this collection, or the majority of this collection, was brought to Vienna around 1806. And the focal point of this collection of instruments comes from the late Renaissance and the early Baroque periods. And it's not the only comprehensive collection of historical musical instruments in the world, but it's probably like one of the most valuable. There are other collections in Brussels as well as in Munich. Now here's a collection of violins by Jacob Stainer, which shows the evidence of craftsmanship from the 17th century. Now, there is a second core group in the collection of
Cameron,
instruments
this is a tenor
from the
viola.
Obese family. I'm
This
not sure
thing
if I'm
is
pronouncing that correctly.
huge.
Going back again
This
to the
one is the
late
most.
Renaissance and the
Look at
early
that.
Baroque period. And it was because of family
Cool.
related events that were responsible for the transfer of the Obese collection of instruments to Vienna, and that was around 1870. Today, there are 12 rooms dedicated either to an era of music history or to a musical personality. In this museum, there's also a gallery that's dedicated to Franz Joseph Haydn and his days, and there are even harpsichords played by Mozart and Beethoven, and forte piano that was owned by Robert and Clara Schumann, and then eventually owned and played by Johannes Brahms.
How cool is this? Look at these bass bowls. Wow. Uprights. The early upright pianos. And then grand. I am on musical instrument overload. We are at the Hofburg Palace where they have ancient musical instruments on display, and I'm just in complete awe from my favorite instruments and the instruments I played all the way to the instruments that my daughter plays, and And my other daughter plays. This is just unbelievable that we get to experience this. There are other things in this palace as well, but of course I had to see the instruments. Unbelievable.
This is one of the few Renaissance lira da braccios, which is a string instrument played while held in the arms. This was made by Giovanni Bandurella in 1511.
At the Hofburg Palace.
Okay, students, I am in the Reducensal ballroom of the Hofburg Palace. Reducensal actually means fancy dressed ballroom.
And this is where we are. There's music, of course, being played. And we just finished starters or appetizers and waiting for the rest. Plenty of wine. And for me, plenty of water.
Yeah.